As we approach Thanksgiving, it's that time of year to ask, well, what is there to actually be grateful for? I am grateful that most people are bad at most things. Imagine you're an opera singer and everybody sings outstandingly well. Everybody is about as good as you are at singing. How much harder would it be to sing at the Met or La Scala? It's already hard. It's more than hard enough. Or imagine if everybody could run especially well and for long distances, in which case, well, there'd be no such thing as marathons anymore. Long distance races would have to be a lot longer. I mean, the problem that you marathon runners already have is that people are as good at running as they already are, meaning that, well, in order to have a race that's grueling enough and seemingly never-ending enough, it already has to be 26 miles. But if everyone was a great runner, then to be a long-distance runner, an actual long-distance runner, you'd have to run, I don't know, 200 miles a day. It would take up so much time. Or imagine if everybody was especially adept at languages, so that one could speak Chinese by, well, speaking Chinese to some Chinese person, or listening to them for the rest of the week. And by the weekend, you're fluent. Spanish, that just takes a day and a half. And Hungarian, well, maybe that's longer, that's a week. It would be very difficult in that case to be good at languages. Or to be a linguist. 8 languages, that wouldn't do. That's not nearly enough. I don't know, you'd need to know all of them, even the ones no longer spoken. You'd be on the lookout for new languages spoken by yet-to-be-discovered tribes in the yet-to-be-explored jungles of South America. That's what it would mean to be an expert at languages. Today's linguists, in other words, benefit from the fact that people find language learning very difficult. Or imagine if people were especially skilled at ironing. I think that would mean we'd iron more and not notice a well-ironed shirt nearly as much as we do. Let's say it takes a few seconds to iron perfectly and you don't even need a board to do it. Ironing might become an expectation. Oh, why doesn't she iron her shirt? What's wrong with her? Even t-shirts would normally be worn ironed. People who currently wear ironed shirts would wear an ascot tie or a floral decoration in their shirt pockets, some way of making the same point that ironing their shirt makes today. Ironed shirts, they do look nice, don't they? And I think ironing is about as difficult today as it should be. Or what if people could eat glass? Not that it was nutritious, just that it wasn't harmful. I imagine they might add glass to salads then as a standard for the texture. It would replace croutons, even crackers or fresh cucumber, or you might add glass to hamburgers, in which case there would be less of a role for lettuce. You might have glass packaging for candies or chocolate which sparkle. They're appealing and you can eat them. You don't have to unwrap the candy anymore or break the glass to get it out. But I think glasses used for drinking would gradually become of poorer quality, because it wouldn't matter anymore if the glass broke and you ate some of it. And if the glass does break, well, your drink, that will spill onto your shirt. So look, I'm grateful for today's glass, how drinking glasses are of generally very good quality. What about a world where people didn't need to sleep? Well, there'd be more activities in the evenings and more shift work. There'd be no such thing anymore as an early morning and no late evenings when things slow down. No quiet time in the day. Days would blend in more, one into the other. There'd also have to be a meal sometime around 2 a.m., assuming we want to keep to 3 meals a day. So no more lunch times. Meals would be 8 a.m., 7 p.m. and 2 a.m. Some people would work all the time if they didn't have to sleep, while others might not work at all and they wouldn't know what to do with all these extra hours. Also, when do we go dancing? If nobody's ever sleeping, it doesn't make sense to go in the evenings, because the evening is no longer that time when you're up late. You're not up late. We're all up. 3 a.m. is no different from 3 p.m. It's just that the sun isn't out. But then, well, the sun doesn't shine in a dance club. Also, there'd be a lot more interest in nocturnal animals, such as insects and frogs. And that's because, well, we'd be nocturnal now. And diurnal too. Now, there are other animals that don't sleep, such as dolphins and giraffes and elephants. And maybe they could help us understand what it might be like to not sleep if we could learn to communicate better with those animals. Also, I think we'd become less afraid of the dark. We might still have horror movies set in the dark, but I suspect those movies would be less frightening. Now, that's just a hunch. If you're a thief, say, it no longer works to break into a person's home in the middle of the night. They're not asleep. You still may want to break in then, though, because the dark makes it easier to be secretive, clandestine, but they are up. It is riskier. I do think life would be better if no one ever had to sleep, because you could fit more things in. You could go bowling and sailing and make a slow-cooked beef or lamb stew in a single day. We'd look back and think, oh, how did I ever get anything done back when I needed to sleep? But I'm still grateful that we need sleep. I am. I think life might be even more rushed than it already is if we didn't have to sleep. So yes, I'm grateful for all these things on this Thanksgiving.